Hi, welcome to Gaming Lettuce Tomato. Today we're gonna be reviewing or going over something a little bit different. I've definitely, as you can see, probably figured it out already through the YouTube title, right? We're not reviewing a video laptop today. We're going through the process of buying, the overall experience of buying and finally picking up a new Tesla Model 3. So what we're seeing in today is a blue standard range plus Model 3. From my experience, because I'm in Michigan, we'll be buying a vehicle from Michigan, which every state is a little bit different. So in particular with Michigan, they have showrooms here, but they don't have really truly like dealerships with service centers. And when you go into a showroom, they can show you the car, they can talk about the specs, but they can't talk about pricing. They can't really sell you the vehicle. So what you would have to do, so there's a few options. You can, one recommendation is, and it would definitely help me out and it'll help you out too, go down below, click on the referral link. You get, right now they're running a special. It's like 5,000 supercharging miles, but normally it's 1,000. So by the time we get this video out, it'll probably be 1,000. And so it's 1,000 free extra supercharging miles that you wouldn't get otherwise. The other option, obviously, you can go to Tesla.com. And then the other option, the third option is you can always pick up the phone and give them a call, and they can walk you through, ordering the Tesla. But I personally would recommend just clicking the referral link or going to their website and then placing the order. Now, during the order process, if you have a pre-order like I did, make sure you click on the pre-order and make the order through that pre-order. It will already show you the vehicle, and you click on manage and you start modifying that vehicle and place your order then. Now, when I did it, the site actually kind of bugged out and I ended up ordering a new order rather than using my pre-order. So you gotta be careful with that. The other things that you want to know, the key notes, is that you don't want to confuse or complicate your overall order. You don't want to be calling them and making adjustments, a lot of adjustments, because the sales team at Tesla, they don't actually have a lot of information in front of them. They can't really make a lot of changes. They have this certain process that they like to follow. And as a matter of fact, Elon, if you're listening to this, please give your salespeople access to the inventory. If the vehicle is being built and is being shipped to, let's say, a facility, give them that information, because the last thing, like a customer wants, as a customer experience, like, oh yeah, I don't know, from a salesperson, I don't know if your car is going to get built. I don't know if it's going to take like 4-6, weeks to get it. So that's something I hope in the future their service level will increase. So after that, so once you place the order, you want to, if you're financing it, if you don't have, the money in your bank already to pay in cash, you would want to go to a bank. So what I'll do is I'll have a link down below with the spreadsheet that someone built to look at all these different credit unions and banks and their percentages based on your terms, so you can find the best credit union. So here in Michigan, I ended up going with Diversified Members Credit Union, Elisa sorry if I butchered your name, Watkins. She was super helpful, so I'll also put her contact number down there if you're interested in looking at financing for your new Tesla. So what happens when you do find that you call around, you get your rates, and you finally pick one, right? Then you want to, so my experience with DMCU was I completed the application, I sent them like proof of income, and references. Then they run a credit report on your profile, and based on the credit score, if your credit score is 600 or below, you have to put down 10 to 15%. If you don't, you can actually borrow more and not worry about the 10 to 15% down. Then after that, the loan is then submitted to underwriter. Then the DMCU branch, you have to go to one to set up a account, and it's just you only have to put in like $5 to set up a savings account. It's just so you become a member of that credit union to get that benefit. So not a big deal. So what happens after that?
How long does it all take? The financing.
The financing, well, you can say it takes a day or two once you get the ball rolling, but the problem is the waiting period. So there's certain orders they can't get you completed or the loan application closed until they get a VIN number. So until you get a VIN number, until you have a delivery day, you can't. So I can say, well, the overall financing part only took 2 days, but it was over like 6 weeks. Does that make sense? So after the application is started, then you go, and this is the long waiting period, and this is probably the most stressful part, because you're just sitting there and waiting. Is you're waiting for the MVPA, that's what they call it, the Tesla Motor Vehicle Purchase Agreement. And that's when they'll let you know the delivery date. That's when they'll give you the VIN number, and that's what you want to send over to your loan officer, right? Now, before you send that over, you actually want to add insurance onto your vehicle. So, I have Progressive. It was really easy. I went on their website, punched in the VIN number, added in the insurance coverage, make sure it's enough coverage to protect the vehicle in case anything happens. You want essentially full coverage. That's a requirement for the loan. And once you have that, you take those documents and you send that over to the credit union or the bank. So you have the MVPA and you have the insurance, and you send that over. And with that, they're able to then close on the loan. Now, closing on the loan, with DMCU, I received two checks. One is the loan amount, and then there's a second piece, which is a $3 check. Is what they're asking for is a validated RD 108, which is the Michigan Department of State application for title and registration. So they just want a copy of proof of that. And then when you're there, it takes probably less than an hour. You just go there, sign some paperwork, get the checks, and you're off and running. So now the other piece is, now we're going into pre-delivery and prep. So make sure to print out the checklist. So there's a link down below. Just basic stuff like making sure your vehicle is there's no issues with it. Make sure everything is working properly. I mean, you shouldn't have that. I mean, Tesla says that they check every vehicle, but reading the forums, being part of the groups, there have been people that have experienced little things here and there, which I have too, and I'll note it in the pickup day video. Then the next thing you want to do is print out your insurance. Obviously, if you're going to be driving back, you should have insurance in your wallet just in case. Now, if the loan amount doesn't cover your full vehicle, you can either go to the bank and get another cashier's check from your bank account to cover the difference, or you can pay via wiring the funds over. But I went with cashier's check just because that's what I have also from the loan, so it's just easier all in one go. Now, here's another super important piece. Even though the delivery date, let's say, is set up, make sure you call the a few days beforehand just to confirm, like, hey, I will be here. What is the time I should be here? Because sometimes their systems may be lagging. The website is not up to date with the latest information. So you want to talk to someone on the phone. Usually is your advisor, and they'll be able to kind of walk you through that. Now, after that, we're talking about the trip. We ended up going to Chicago to pick up the vehicle. So we took the train. We took the Amtrak train. We rode it there, and so that was pretty simple. There's from Michigan, depending on where you're at in Michigan. If you're on the west side of Michigan, obviously Chicago's a closer one. If you're on the East Coast, east side of Michigan, then Cleveland location would be your closest one. Now, let's talk about pickup. When you walk in, meet your advisor, introduce yourself. You let them know you have a pickup today, and then they'll let you know, oh yeah, your vehicle's actually right up front charging right now. So my vehicle was ready to go. So before I signed any paperwork, I went through and I asked, hey, do you mind if I go through my checklist? And they're like, yeah, no problem. So I went out and I went through my checklist. They gave me all the time I needed to go through everything. And some of the things that I found was super minor. It's actually two minor things. It was actually in the front bumper. There's a little bit of paint, like a little small ding, and I'll show you in the video shortly. On the front bumper, and they documented it, and they said that they'll have the one of the Tesla certified shops in my area to take care of it. And then there's this other thing where it's one of the coatings, the seals. There's a little bump to it, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's pretty normal. You can actually use a heat gun, and it would just seal right back. It doesn't hurt the car whatsoever. So, but make sure you look at these things and have your advisor document that before signing the paperwork. Then finally, it is signing the paperwork. It's a delivery declaration, and that's where they note any issues that you find, and then sign the MVPA document. So it's pretty simple. So that's what I have for the pickup day. Now the drive home. Now, one of the things I didn't know that I later found out, that your charge in the beginning, when you're low on battery, your superchargers are going to charge really, really quickly, like over 400 miles an hour. But then as you get closer to getting full on charge, it will start going down. So it might go from like 400 to 300, then 200, and then eventually 100 miles an hour to charge your vehicle near the end. So that's something to consider. So actually in my route, the navigation told me to go to more than one stop because my charge rate will be faster when the battery is low. So it will be actually faster going to 2 stops rather than just waiting in one to charge all the way to full. Okay.
So are the stops when do you see the stops? Do you see it after you put in the destination or as you are going along?
So it's already pre-planned in the destination. So as soon as you punch in the address, it will tell you exactly which stops you'll be making, and it will automatically navigate you to the stop. So the stops are actually really cool too, and we'll most likely create a separate video on the supercharging stops. But one thing I was worried about is like, oh man, do I need my credit card? Do I need some sort of cash? What do I need? How do I pay for the supercharging, right? It's actually pretty cool. Everything is saved on your Tesla account. So all you have to do is just always back into a spot and just pull the charger adapter in and just plug it in, and it will document and track everything, and on your Tesla account is tied to a credit card, and you can pay it afterwards. You don't have to worry about getting stuck in the middle of nowhere without a credit card to pay You know, when was the last time you try to fill up your tank without a credit card, right? So that was pretty cool. Let's see, and then I guess the drive back was quite enjoyable. I got to test out, you know, the autopilot and everything else. So far so good. I guess I haven't received these yet, but supposedly the permits and the registration will be FedExed over to me when they have it. So I'm waiting on that, and once I have that documentation, I will go into the Secretary of State to finish the paperwork to officially get the vehicle registered under Michigan. Here are a few tips. There's no really big need to spam the Tesla service centers. Just go through this checklist and just understand this is the whole process. They will call you and contact you when the vehicle is ready. Remember, they want to sell the vehicle to you as much as you want to receive that vehicle, right? So just focus on the process and just be patient. I know it's really hard to do, especially when you're really excited, right? If there are no delivery dates or VIN numbers set 5 days before the expected delivery date, make sure to call your advisor. The website estimated dates are not correct. They're really rough ballpark. Sometimes they're just so way off that I don't even bother with them. Try to avoid changing orders or requests. It really messes up with their Tesla, standard process. So it's just think about it before you place an order. Make sure this is exactly what you want. Double check everything before you hit that order button, and then just let Tesla do its thing with their process. And of course, be nice and courteous. They're pretty much in the same situation you are in. Again, Eli, if you're watching this, just work on that supply chain. Give your service centers information on inventory and what's going on, and have better estimates, because they're kind of lost too. All right, well, just a quick note. I just want to thank everyone for being really helpful and supportive on this whole process. I know it's been really long, and I've made plenty of phone calls myself to just really understand the process and where the vehicle's at. And hopefully this video can help any future Tesla buyers out there that's interested, especially in Michigan. I know it's a little tougher here to buy your first Tesla. So see you guys later. Bye. Oh, by the way, if you have any tips and great advice, make sure you comment below. I'm sure there are other people that would be really interested in that information.